So you guys are here. Here we go. Moving forward, the moans of the dead and the cries of wolves in the forest, they fade. The evening sky begins to cry as cold, gentle rain slowly falls from the sky above. As you move along a muddy path, tall geometric shapes loom in the dense fog ahead of you. The muddy ground underfoot suddenly gives way to wet cobblestones, and the tall shapes become recognizable as village dwellings. Windows of each house stare from the pools of blackness. Though no walls protect this town, you notice 10 wooden posts approximately 15 yards ahead of you as you walk closer to the village structures. Okay, we have a very creepy looking town. At this moment, you see no movement. Make an investigation roll, please. Anybody who gets 8 or higher. Oh! You're good? You're good.
I got another one.
Oh, another one!
Like a bear.
I got a 10.
You two are good. Both of you are too preoccupied looking around at these really creepy, grayish looking village townhouses that are everywhere in front of you. There is cobblestones. They're very wet and shiny. Some of the clouds are parting where the moon shines down. You guys are too preoccupied with all these new sights and sounds. Both of you see this, but you also notice these 10 posts. You see that these posts have ropes that are frayed, and there are claw marks and scratches. And you see pools of what looks like dark brownish pudding at the base of the poles that are sticking out of these stone grounds. Make a nature check, both of you guys.
16.
This is a low roll. 8.
16.
Okay, both of you immediately know that that is actually not muddy brownish. It's actually coagulated blood at the base. Old blood surrounding the base of these posts. But in the distance, in the fog, in the town, you hear a strange sound. You start seeing a man who looks to be an elder, a shepherd, holding a cane and a lantern, with 6 sheep flanking him, walking towards the outskirts of the town, towards each of you. He has yet to take notice, and he's about maybe a good 50 yards in the town, walking slowly as his hand rocks back and forth, and the sheep blindly are walking behind him as he's coming closer.
I'm gonna call out to him. You there! What is this place, and what are you doing?
You also start hearing sobbing once you start screaming, and it's coming from somewhere in this really creepy town. The man stops and he lifts up his old head. He holds up the lantern, and you see a wrinkly old face, palish skin, as he squints and he looks at the group of you as you speak. Victor is shaking once again next to you. He lowers the lantern and starts slowly moving closer to all of you. And there's crying that's echoing throughout the village.
I asked him again. What is this town? What's going on here? Why is it so quiet?
He stops once again as he gets closer, and obviously he's wearing peasant clothes. The sheep look defeated, as if they know they're being led to the slaughter. His old eyes widen as he holds the lantern closer. You see black rings under his eyes. His skin is almost a palish gray as his frail little arms hold up and he shakes this lantern. Looking at you, he slowly reaches back and he points in the distance. Beyond the town, set atop of mountains, this old man's finger points at a dark, ominous castle that watches over this dismal town in the distance like a vulture looking at its next meal. The moon sits behind, silhouetting this really mysterious castle in the distance. Almost looks like a skull is in the face of the moon. After the old man points at the castle, he holds a lantern with his single finger that he pointed and he puts it to his mouth and he shakes like this. And he starts walking closer again towards the post with the sheep.
Lord Herder, may we have safe passage into your town. We are avoiding the night terrors.
He hears you. He takes his cane and he taps it twice on the cobblestone. The sheep stop moving, and he slowly approaches you. He holds the lantern up, and he has his cane. Are you guys gonna let him approach?
I am, but I'm gonna put my hand on the hilt of my rapier.
Okay. You?
I am the same. I'm just like get my staff on my side, on ready. If anything moves, and then we just have one.
Reaction? Okay. You two? You get 2 reactions. What would you like to do?
I feel my bowels rumble and I run to the outhouse.
You're gonna start moving to that house, right?
No, just joking.
Oh.
I hold my axe a little bit tighter.
Alright, so 3 of you are reactions. You?
I'm gonna get within 10 feet of the post.
Okay. Yep. Okay. He starts walking around the post to about here, and you could tell he's walking towards you. He's holding this lantern up. He's probably in his 70s, very old man. Looks like he's been through hell. He has a cane that's all obviously it's a wood piece of cane. It's a wood and it's all twisted and mangled with knots in it. And he starts approaching you even more. And his clothing is pretty nasty, and there's a foul scent of body odor coming from him. Not decayed like you smelled before. You gonna let him still approach?
I'm going to do a medicine check to see if there's anything overly alarming that would say I shouldn't let him approach.
Let's do an insight check.
Insight. Dirty 20.
Dirty 20. He's a frail old man. Very, very feeble to you. And with the only weapon that you see he has is a cane. And even that looks fragile, like if it hits you, it'll break. You don't feel threatened by him.
Okay.
You gonna let him still come towards you, or you gonna say something?
I'll go to him.
Okay. The rest of you, the party, you see Oriskin approach this old man, and he actually stops. When you're both close by, he gently puts the lantern on the ground, and he comes up with his hand, shaking, and he goes towards to touch your face.
YOLO, I'll let him.
Okay?
But when I see that, when I saw the man reaching out,
Yeah.
in that sense, also I get my staff and then get next to wrist.
Okay, make an insight roll, please.
12.
You two see this is a frail old man. You're scanning him. You see no weapons except for the piece of wood. You figure he can easily take him, let alone you.
Okay.
So he reaches up. Are you gonna be cool with this too?
Yeah, I'm gonna actually approach the sheep.
Okay. Victor is still on your shoulder as you guys move up carefully. The sheep have dead looks about their faces. And you've seen sheep and animals, livestock in the past that are about to be sent to a slaughterhouse. You see no slaughterhouse except for these posts with the ripped ropes and the claw marks with the coagulated blood. They look up at you, and Victor stops shaking, and he looks at them, and he looks at you.
I'm gonna pat the sheep ear closest to me.
All right. You start patting the sheep, and the sheep are emotionless. Don't even move. They don't flinch. They're almost dead, but they're not. You feel warmth to them. Their fur, their wool is all matted and nasty. A few gnats and flies move off of the bodies. But this is probably the first emotional interaction these animals have ever had in this village. You, what would you like to do?
I like to move forward, get by
Never.
Navarre, thank you. And notch one of my,
This side?
one of my
Bow and arrows? Nice. And are you going to aim it at the old man or the sheep? The crying continues, by the way, throughout the town.
Not yet. I'm not gonna aim at anything because I don't know what to aim at just yet.
Okay. The old man reaches for your beard very softly, and he goes to touch your beard. He takes his bony fingers and he rubs it, and he lets go, and he looks at you, making eye contact. His eyes almost seem soulless. This man has been defeated like a beaten dog. As he touches your beard, he slowly steps back and he turns around and goes back towards the sheep. He almost touches you as if he thought you were a dream, but realizes you're not. Okay, the rest of you picked up on that as well. And he starts heading towards you and the sheep. As he goes to that, he taps the ground, the cobblestone once again. The sheep, almost in a line in unison, start walking towards the posts with him. Are you going to do anything? Okay. Lamar, what would you like to do?
I'm gonna ask this old gentleman one more time. Sir, we would like to find a safe passage to Baldark Gate. So which way will be the quickest way, if you know?
He once again reaches behind and he points way beyond the streets, beyond an old church in the distance. About a quarter mile away, there's a massive hill with this castle that sits, a very ancient and old, large castle. As he points, he shakes his hands, and he comes back around looking at you. Doesn't say a word. He goes over and starts tying one of the sheep up after he said that to the post.
I'm gonna walk over and help him.
Okay. Welby starts helping tying the sheep to the post. You?
I also will help. I want to show these people that we know we don't mean them harm.
Okay.
I'd like to see if I can see anything in the skies, anything watching us, anything flying about.
Yes. You look around. At that moment, a big piece of paper or cloth wraps around your foot from the wind, and you look down and hit your leg.
Retrieve the cloth, see if I can read it.
And it's a writing, and it's almost like an announcement. And it reads, "Your children are delicacies to the devil and his children. Keep them inside. More importantly, tell them to ignore the taps on their windows at night. May the morning Lord protect us all. Burgomaster Koylin Indirovich."
So I didn't see anything flying around. Is that what
The clouds are up there in the skies, occasionally parts where you see the stars and the moon.
Did I read that to the rest of the group?
No. Well, if you want to, you can.
So I got this little notice. I think perhaps maybe we should try to retreat into one of the areas, maybe even the church if we can get there, since vampires classically don't like churches.
Should we rest the night? And then we start tomorrow? I was assuming it's going to be safer for the vampire.
Which is why I suggested going to the church.
Hopefully, if that fog is still on our tail and its inhabitants, hopefully they'll pass by morning come.
Because the paper mentioned that it's not safe at night, right?
Which is why I think a place like that might be good, especially holy ground.
Oh, okay.
You suddenly hear the sounds of wooden wheels on cobblestones in the streets and knocking on doors. You all pick up on this and you look down deeper into the town. You find a trace, and it's a hunched over figure dressed in rags pulling a rickety cart. After knocking on a door, this figure, an old woman, grabs the cart and appears to be pulling it towards another house. Hunched over, white hair from what you could tell. She seems to be busy trying to get attention or do something, and she goes to the next house. She knocks on the door. The old man finishes tying the sheep. The rest of you sort of stop, and you see the old man look in the distance. And he begins to walk away. Are you guys going to let him just go about his business now?
I'm gonna follow him.
Okay. You?
I'll follow him.
Okay. Most of the houses in this area, as you look and you watch this man, they're boarded up. Houses that have faint light You see windows and curtains quickly close and wooden shutters close as you guys slowly enter this town. More than half the houses are boarded up main doors. You see a large painted X on all those doors. There's no light or movement coming from those houses whatsoever. This old man approaches a very small shack on the side of the road, probably his own house, as he walks over to it and opens the door to go in. And it's really small, and there's a foul smell comes of it. The door opens up, rats come scurrying out into the street and disappear into the shadows. You guys gonna just let him go in, follow him, or you just okay, that's where he lives?
I'm just gonna ask him. Sir, is there someplace safe we could lodge tonight?
Why don't you do a let's make a charisma roll for you, sir. 10 or higher. Oh.
That's going to be depending on what we want to call it.
No, that's fine. You need a 10 or higher. So, looking at you, he gestures down the street to a larger structure where you see some bright light coming from a door spilling out.
Which one was he pointing to?
A large building over there with this one right there. Yep.
And I'm gonna head in that direction.
Okay. You're gonna do what?
I'll follow Welby.
Okay. Both of you?
Yeah.
I go see the church first before I go to the tavern.
All right. So collectively, you guys are going to start moving across. The old woman is still going about her business. As you got closer to head towards the church and that structure building, she makes eye contact with all of you with the cart. And she stops. She appears to be probably in her 60s, kind of heavy set, hunched over, and she has a huge wooden cart. You see smoke and steam coming from it. It's covered up with some cloth on the top. She has her hair up in a bun with a long pin. She has a shawl over her shoulders. Her eyes look at all of you, and she produces a smile.
Does she have the same look of despair and death as the old man?
She seems pale, but she does not have a look of despair because she's smiling.
So she's more lively and not as tired.
As you're trying to figure this out, the old woman actually speaks.
Granny does not bite, my children. Welcome to the village of Barovia. Come closer, let Granny see you,
She says.
Can you do that medicine check to see if there's anything up about it?
Sure.
About her?
No.
Do an insight roll.
Insight?
Yeah.
Insight is wisdom?
Yep.
That is a 14.
She looks like an old woman. You see nothing threatening about her. She seems generally happy to see fresh faces.
I'm gonna
Check the card.
say, Madam, we'll keep our distance. We've met nothing but hostile since we arrived.
Granny is not hostile, little one. Come, let me get a better look at you.
And she grabs the cart and she struggles with it and she starts pulling it and she starts walking towards you guys, swaddling back and forth. She doesn't look like a threat. You start picking up the aroma of spices and meats and sweet pastries coming from this cart as she's getting closer to you. You see there's a bright glow of red charcoals at the bottom of the cart itself.
Are you hungry, my children? Granny can give you anything you need, sustenance, information. I am here for you, my children. We do not get visitors in this town very often. Those who do come, they never come back.
What do you have in your cart?
Oh, I'm glad you asked, my little lady. Very beautiful woman you are. I have not seen your kind in quite some while.
She gets a little closer, non-threatening. She stops about 10 feet. She turns and she pulls back the cloth. Smoke rises up like a snake into the sky, and you see dozens of these different pastry pies. They look really good, all different colors. She says to you,
I have mincemeat pie, seasoned pork pie, and for those with a sweet tooth, Granny has apple sauce surprise. I will gladly give you one for free, but unfortunately Granny needs to make money and I cannot give more than one.
Crying continues throughout the town.
For such a kind old woman, why have you been met with such hostility from the rest of the villagers?
My lad, my lovely little bearded lad, as you can see, this isn't the most happiest of towns. And people go missing, unfortunately, all the time in the village of Barovia. And they do not answer the door for Granny. I cannot come out during the day, only for I am baking hard during the day. And I want to bring happiness to the people in this town with my pastries, but no one answers. Occasionally, someone will answer the door for my pies, and I'll gladly sell them to them. All I wish to do is to bring everyone happiness in this miserable time. Stay away from the doors with the X's, though. Very bad, she says.
I actually get my staff kind of in the position because I remember the piece of paper that Drake got that at night they have some danger coming out. Don't open the door when somebody knock at the door, and then she exactly knocked at the door.
Let's say window. Bedroom window.
Bedroom window. Oh.
So.
Well, a knock is a knock.
And then
Knock's a knock, right?
and then at night, nobody coming out, and then everybody is staying in who she's gonna sell to.
Yeah, my friends, I think we should head to the building the old man gestured towards.
She hears that. Yes, I agree. The blood of the blood of the Vine Tavern, and she gestures to that two-story building in the distance. They can give you room and board and food. I would recommend not to stay on the streets, for there are very bad things throughout Barovia.
I'm gonna keep heading that way.
Nobody's gonna ask her questions any further. You can talk to her.
I don't trust her enough to continue this conversation any further.
Okay. So you're gonna.
I did the farewell and good night, and then I follow Welby over to the tavern.
My darling dwarf, may the morning lord shine upon you, and your cute little friend and his primate. Now you both of you see Welby and Oriskin sort of start moving towards this structure where there's some light coming out of it. What would you two do?
I talked to Drake that, what's your name and this one? Is Drake the same one? Drake. Okay, let's Drake. And they said that, well, I think that you mentioned you want to check out the church. Maybe we wait until the morning lights. Let's go as a
Not
group.
of interest, huh? You can even just look through the window.
I
I just give the old woman kind of a odd little look.
Okay.
I'm gonna head to the tavern with her then.
Okay. You mentioned the church, she says as you go to walk away. You gonna keep going?
What do you know of the church?
The church is probably the safest place in Barovia at this time. If you go, the morning is a good time. Father Donovich is a good man. But mind you, these lands are not safe for newcomers such as you and your friends, so you need to find shelter for the Devil Strahd watches, she says.
Are they already at the...
Yeah, they started walking down the street as she says this to you, and you hear a name that you haven't heard before.
Thank you for the good information, but I think we'll stick with our mates for now, and maybe go to the church in the morning.
Okay. So you guys gonna walk off?
Yep.
Okay. Let's move you guys over as you start walking away from her. And as you walk away, the last words she says to you. The Devil Strahd has spies everywhere. Watch yourselves, young ones. Granny can always be found in the streets at night. Good night, my lovelies. And she turns the cart. And she starts slowly going away.
Before she goes away, I do one last thing about love.
Okay.
I have a few extra gold coins. I flick her a gold coin and tell her thank you for all you're done.
It hits her body and rolls to the ground. She's too slow to catch it.
Can I pick it up and put it in her cart?
You do. She smiles at you. Wait. She reaches and grabs a small pastry. She holds it out. You look like you have a sweet tooth. This is the applesauce surprise. She gives you a pie. Her nails are a little longer, but it's obviously this is an area where they're not taking care of their body that well. But she's holding it out generously.
I don't touch it, but I wrap it like in a cloth I'm carrying and tell
And
her
you take
to
it
put
off.
apart.
Okay. Okay. You gonna go? You two?
Yes.
You guys are headed towards that light. Excellent. Alright, I gotta set a piece up. We don't have to shut this off. It'll take me a second. You guys can move your figures out the way. Let me get a map real quick.
while he's doing that, Frey,
Well, let's
what you got there?
Do I have where?
like the pie,
What did
Oh,
the,
she gave me a
apple pie.
sweet apple pie. You can have it if you want.
Feed.
given the tone of the situation, I feel we shouldn't trust him.
I agree. I'm gonna give it to the tavern person actually. And tell them. Oh, look at that.
I don't know, we might want to distract him. He thinks it's not good barter.
Maybe not. We'll see how they react though.
Okay. Continuing down the main street, you notice that structure. It has a single shaft of light that spills out into the main square. Its brightness is looking like a pillar of hope in this dismal area with the heavy fog. Above the doorway, a single sign hangs precariously askew, proclaims "Blood on the Vine Tavern." You notice that the N on "Blood on the Vine" has been etched over the letter F, for blood of the tavern. Are we going in?
It's either that or the church. I guess so.
Okay. Let's put your figures all right here. The doors. Okay. Upon entering the main doors, the wood planks beneath you squeal like a nervous mouse. As you approach and enter, you can tell this once a finely appointed tavern has grown shoddy over the years. Pushing past the doors, you're greeted with the warmth of a blazing fire in a large hearth. Two large chandeliers made of deer bones hang from the ceiling. Large candles slowly melt as the flames begin to dance in the wind from behind you as you open the main doors. There happens to be several other souls and villagers within this tavern. They take notice, and they go back to what they were doing, drinking and talking. They include an older male barkeep that stands to the bar, three colorfully dressed, beautiful young women sitting across from him, a lone man sipping wine in the far corner wearing a long three-quarter trench. His eyes widen as he sees all of you coming in, somewhat intrigued, and several other villagers speaking to themselves. The man in the corner drinks a glass of wine. As he holds up the glass, the candles shine and reflect off of it. He takes a sip and slowly puts it down as he watches the three of you. One of the women speaks. "Welcome to our tavern. Come on in, please. Sit down."
I'm gonna make my way to the table there by the fireplace.
Okay, put your character there.
I'm going to go up to the barkeep.
Put your character in the barkeep. Where you'd like to go to the bar?
I am going to the table.
Okay. And you, sir?
The gentleman in the corner looks like he's raring for conversation, so I'm gonna go and talk to him.
Okay. So let's move him around. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. So first one, if we went to you, so we'll go to you first. You're at the table. What would you like to do at this point?
I'm gonna raise my hand towards the barkeep. Hey, barkeep.
Uh,
Get a few drinks.
The barkeep looks over at you, wiping down with a rag a dirty cup. As you shout that out, one of the women says, "Attic, please, these are our guests. Give them a round on the house." And the other women smile and they sort of giggle. The barkeep, he grunts and he slowly turns and he's turning away from you. You can say something to him?
He's turning away. Hey, barkeep, I have a question for you.
He sort of moans and he turns and he's still wiping his glass and he looks at you.
How much does it cost for us to get lodging here for the night?
There is no lodging here. You get food and drink, you can rest your feet, but in a few hours you leave.
He goes behind the counter. As he says that, he puts up some glasses and put them on the countertop. And he grabs this big jug of a special kind of wine glass, and you see it printed on the label says Wizard of Wine.
Ah, what do you know? Is that from the...
He starts pouring the wine in all the glasses. What would you like to do? You're at the table with Welby.
No, I just wait.
Okay. You finally make your way as you start crossing towards that guy. Why don't you put your character at his table now? This guy, as you get closer, he's a male. He's probably in his late 30s. He has a medium, short, reddish brown hair. He has a vest underneath his long brown coat, and you also see he has appears to be like a sword attached to his shoulder, and it's on his back as he sits drinking the wine. He looks at you. "Please, stranger, take a seat." And he sort of stands up.
I'm gonna remain standing for now. And say, "Good sir, you seem much more well off than the others we've encountered so far. What is your name?"
"I am Ismark Kroyanovich. It may seem like I'm well off because my father was the burgomaster of this town. May the morning god rest his soul. My father passed several days ago, and now I'm technically the new burgomaster." And when he says that, the three women at the bar start laughing, almost insultingly towards him. His eyes look defeated and sad when he hears them laughing about him. They call me Ismark the Lesser. They feel that I'm nothing like my father, and I truly am not, but I wish to be. My goal is to try to bring liveliness back to this town, but unfortunately, things have gone askew. When your name is...
Oriskin Leesburg.
Please do not offend me. Take a seat. And he sits down.
I will sit.
Okay. At that moment, the bartender fills up all the glasses, and he's sort of next to you, Craig, and he slides the glasses in front of you.
On house!
He says,
I'll thank him, take the glasses, and return to our group.
"Make a dexterity roll of 10 or higher, please."
14.
Oh, very good. You balance excellently, like a well-trained server, and you walk over and you put the drinks in front of Welby, Navarra, and all three of you get together at the table. One of the women holds up a small glass of wine to the three of you. "To the stranger's health," she says, and the three beautiful women smile, and they all hold up their glasses, and they cling them together, and they all drink.
To health.
To health!
Cheers.
Cheers! On drink. One of the women says to you, "My sisters and I were talking. Do you think you can hold your alcohol like strong warriors that you look like you are?" she says.
Half as well as you, I think.
"Oh, the little child, you and your little pet, please come join us," she says.
I'm gonna look to Victor for a clue on this one. What does Victor think about these ladies?
Let's make an insight roll. 10 or higher.
That's gonna be 16.
You look at Victor, and Victor happens to be licking the wine, and his eyes look up at you almost like a child caught with his hand in the cookie jar. And he goes back to licking the wine. That's the extent you can get.
Oh, Victor.
"Come, if you think you can sit with us, little man, little warrior."
Alright then. I'll go take the chair next to them.
Alright, put your character there. You guys, you gonna stay?
I'm going to stay. I don't wish to engage in the drink.
I'm gonna stay at the table by the fireplace, but I'm gonna keep an eye on the surrounding.
Okay. You sit there. "Again, my young dwarf, I have not seen your kind before. I've seen others similar to you, your height, a dwarf, but not like you, who looks a little more foresty.
Yes. I am an odd one amongst my people. I prefer the nature to the stone.
Do you have brothers and sisters?
No longer.
I see. They are no longer with us. I drink to them tonight. And he holds it up and he takes a sip. I too have a sister, a sibling. But alas, things have gone awry with her, he says to you. My sister, her name is Irina Koliana. Ever since she's been a child, she's been tormented by the devil Strahd himself. I take it you do not know who Strahd is, he says.
No. We travel to Baldur's Gate in search of aid.
I've never heard of a Baldur's Gate. Only Barovia. The devil does not allow us to go outside of the mists. You are not from here, obviously, nor your friends.
It would appear not. We were attacked on our way to Baldur's, and we've lost our guide. We were attacked on our way to Baldur's, and we've lost our guide.
I can help you return to your homeland if you help my sister and I.
You say there's no way out of the mist otherwise.
For us, no, but you, outlanders, you and your friends who appear to be warriors may have a chance. But I need my sister to be safe. You got to understand the devil has came to her many times in the past. He's embraced her. He is what people call the king of the vampire, he says to you. He has an obsession with my sister. I need her to be safe. There's a walled city, a walled village in Barovia called Valaki. This is a town where my sister needs to go to be safe. If you take her to Valaki, I will tell you of someone there that can give you the information you need to leave this area.
Understand that we may try our best to aid you in this matter, but I do not speak for all of my companions. I will have to run it by them before we come to a decision.
He says to you, also, my father has been dead for 2 days now. He died from the constant onslaught of harassment from Strahd. His heart couldn't take it. He lies within our home and he needs a proper burial at the church. You're more than welcome to come tonight and stay with Irina and myself in our home. But in the morning, we will take you to the church to meet Father Donovich where we can bury our father. And then I will give you directions to Valaki. There's also a lake nearby called the Ser Pool. There are many Vastani, like the women that you see at the bar, and he points to these women. Gypsies, if you will. There is one amongst them who can foresee the future and fortunes told. Her name is Madame Eva. On your way to Valaki, if you see the Vastani campsite by this lake, seek out Madame Eva, for she will give you information and guidance you need to not only get home, but if for some reason the devil Strahd's eyes fall upon you as he's done to so many others, you may stand a chance. Speak with your friends. I will wait here for an answer, but my home is open to all of you tonight, it says.
We thank you.
He bows his head.
I will go and relay the message to the party that I have secured us lodging if we should take it.
So you're gonna walk by. As you walk by, you see Welby sitting at the bar, almost standing up, with like a small baby self. And there's a shot glass in front of him, a small glass cup. But for him, it's pretty large. And there are women next to him, and they all have empty glasses. And one of them puts up a giant wine cask on the table, as you see. Welby, the three women are giggling, and one of them takes the wine glass and fills up all the glasses. Let's see how good you are at holding your alcohol, my little friend. Let the drinking game begin. They all take shots and they drink it all. This is a game I usually do in taverns. It's called the shot game, sir. You're going to take a 20-sided dice. If you roll a 1, you add your modifier, constitution modifier,
If you don't have one, you roll a 1, you fall over. You just can't handle the alcohol. And we'll do 10 rounds of this.
Oh.
So let's see how well you do. This is round 1. Go. A 7, you did well. Oh, so did the women. They drink. And I'm going to start rolling for them at the 4th stage. They start pouring a glass. Stage 2. Roll.
12.
You're good. Nice. They pour again. The 3rd one. Go. 3 or higher.
19.
Ooh, Welby is just pounding down. The rest of you guys are pretty impressed seeing just Welby taking shot of wine, standing there. The women are actually amused with him, and they're smiling with these big smiles.
We'll make good barrel for nothing.
And this is number 3. Go.
Or no, that was.
Number 4 now.
That was
This
3.
is round 4.
Oh, this is round 4, and
That
you
would
got
be 5.
that would be 5. Okay, now it's round 5. I'll be rolling 2. So here we go. This is for first woman. I need 5 or higher. She does well. Second one.
Oh.
A 2. Oh, she gets staggers and giggles, and now there's 2 left. And then the 3rd one. A 10. Ready? Go. 10.
Well.
Next 6 rounds, the bartender starts pouring the drinks, and the women are giggling and laughing. And the rest of you are pretty impressed that Welby is holding his own against these Bastani women. First woman, 6 or higher. She does it. Second woman,
Nope.
4. Oh, and now there's just 1 woman left. She's looking at you with glazed looks in her eyes, smiling.
It's gonna be 11.
All right, 3 more rounds left. The glasses are filled once again with wine. Victor seems pretty tipsy-topsy as he's watching, licking his little lips. And you notice the bartender's even smiling for the first time. You guys see Welby holding his own. Here we go. And we need 7 or higher. 8.
11.
Ooh, here we go. This is now an 8. Here we go. Round 8. She takes the drinks, and she's still standing.
Give yourself that bardic inspiration.
Yay.
Ooh. 9 rounds going in. The wine glass is almost empty. She goes. 19. A
5.
3.
Oh,
Welby
no.
smiles as he looks back at all of you with a proud look on his face, and suddenly he falls forward and crashes, and he's passed out. He's drunk. He's out. Victor just goes down on the ground and sits next to him and sort of lays his head on Welby's chest, and Victor seems drunk, and he starts to sleep as well. The women smile, and they all come around again, and they look over at you two and you. Take your friend to the table. He is fine, adorable, but he cannot stand against a Bastani woman. You guys
Collect him up.
okay? Bring him
Gently
over
take
to.
him back to the table.
All right. Well, we almost did it. Welby's laid on the table with Victor. Both of them passed out drunk, and the 3 of you are now together. So, would you like to say something to them?
Should we take it? I've secured us lodging for the evening, as well as a guide to the church in the morning.
Do you think he's trustworthy?
He seems more lively than anybody else that we've come across.
It's better than nothing, I guess.
Yes.
I say go with him then.
Alright. His condition is that we guide his sister to what he says is the Vistani camp next to a lake.
That's where his sister is, or where she's to go.
That's where she needs to go.
Where is she now?
At his home.
Is she cute?
I don't know. Craig, don't let Navarra hear you say that.
For me, this town is odd. I can sit and meditate and rest here in the tavern.
We need to
And
ask if
then-
they can stay.
Yeah,
But
he said that.
the barkeep said
the
he'll
barkeep
be
said we
kicking
can
us
stay.
out in an hour's time after we've had our fill.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
I see. Okay. I guess that since Welby is out,
Make a Constitution roll, Welby. 10 or higher. Welby is snoring, and he looks peacefully, has a smile on his face, and so is Victor. Both of them are like they're in bliss.
So it's either that or the church. I recommend we go.
okay.
May as well. We can do the church in the morning. I can gently pick up at least one of the two, like Welby or the
All right,
church.
you make a medicine check. You can see if you can wake him up.
Meditation.
10 or higher. You can't. You see Craig is, come on, Welby, and nothing's happening. You gonna try?
I'll try. Medicine, you said?
10 or higher.
Wisdom. Nope, that's an 8.
Oh my goodness, Welby drank a little much more than he could handle. Oh, you gonna try and wake him up, or we're gonna let him?
All right.
You have to
First
carry
I
him.
thought I'm gonna just carry him up. Let's
That's what I'm
try.
gonna do.
You're gonna
Just carry
start
one of the two.
slapping him.
17 plus something.
You're having dreams of running through fields of flowers.
You slap
So I tried to lick
Dandelions floating around, and you and Victor are just frolicking in the sunlight in a beautiful orchard. And suddenly you hear Navarro's voice, "Wake up! Wake up!" And you wake up and you find yourself staring up at the ceiling and Navarro looking down at you. You got a headache.
What's going on?
Well, the Vasani said that when you came around, they'd let you do another go.
I don't know if that's a good idea. My head's killing me.
Well, then, follow us to lodging.
That bed sounds good.
So are we guys gonna...
Okay.
Okay, well, he's sitting in the corner and he's watching you.
I'll raise my hand at him and give him a signal that we accept.
Move your his figure down to your table.
Good.
I am Ismar Koryabanovich, he says to all of you. Do you wish to help me and my sister Irina? He says.
We will give it our best attempt to aid you.
What do we get out of it? But we have a mission. I know that you talked to him about it, but we have mission to get done to help with the town that we already have the prior obligation.
From what he's told me thus far, we have no hope of breaking through the mist without going and speaking to Madame Ava, was it?
Yes, it is Madame Eva. He goes, I am Ismar. You are?
Never.
Nevar. I've seen many like you come and go into Barovia. I've never seen anyone leave Barovia. I can help you get back, but I ask you in the bottom of my heart to help my sister Irina, for the devil Strahd wants her. He wants to make her his bride. Help me take her to a safe town. Tonight you can stay at our manor. And tomorrow we will bury my father at the church, get his blessing, and head out to Veliki. But of course the decision is yours.
Okay.
Once again, we have very few options. I think we should accept this hospitality.
Let's go sleep and talk about it in the morning.
You guys agreed?
Yeah. All right.
Excellent! Follow me! And he turns around, very exciting. He takes in a pocket a coin, he flips it up in the air, and it goes behind the counter. The women, goodbye, goodbye, my little friends, bye, strangers! And they're all waving, and you're hearing this and echoing and booming in your head. Victor is still like nauseous, his tongue's hanging out. You feel sick as well. You can have a disadvantage for at least, let's roll a 10-sided. 8 rounds, so the next 8 rounds, I'll keep track. You have disadvantage. Alright, so what we're going to do is, we're going to take these pieces off the set. And go to the next one.
I should mess with Welby, go up next to him and clap. You did well, little one.
So how many rounds does 8 rounds actually last? Is it 8 spins of dice?
8 round of
minutes?
hours.
Wow.
Right.
So what?
8 round is like 8
8
round
turns?
and before
Yeah,
8
yeah, I'm
turns.
going to keep track. I'll let it know.
Not going by
Are there
minutes.
special round rules for out of combat versus in combat?
No, I just keep it to myself. I'll make sure that when you guys are attacked, he's going to be out of it for the longest time, and then once the combat's done, he'll finally feel better.
Oh no.
I don't know, our last combat didn't even last a full round.
Yeah? You
We
guys-
might be out of it for the next couple combats.
We'll see.
All right. After leaving the tavern, it's still dark out. The streets are still barren and empty. In the distance, the crying that you heard is faint, but it's gone. After traveling to the outskirts of the village, you see a weary-looking 2-story dwelling squatting behind a rusting iron fence. The iron gates are twisted and torn. The right gate lies cast aside in the earth. while the left swings lazily in the wind. The stuttering squeal and the clank of the gates repeats mindlessly with precision. It's almost to the point where it's annoying. Weeds are choking the grounds around this house. However, against the walls, the growth has been trampled all around this house, almost like a path. Heavy claw marks stripped away the once beautiful finish of all the walls outside of this structure. Great black marks also tell of fires that have assaulted this manor. Neither pane nor shard of glass still stands at any window in this house where its mark is taking you. For all the windows are boarded up with planks of wood, each one marked with stains of an evil omen trying to find its way in. Let's make a perception roll, please, as you guys walk up to this house with his mark.
17.
You didn't get it. Now, he's
15.
That is a 26.
oh shit. The three of you, not the guy who's drunk. As you approach the house, you see the trampled weeds. You notice there are large wolf prints and human footprints, both with shoes and without, all around the house.
Are they similar to the ones that we found by the carriage?
Yes. Ismark, as he walks up to the stairs to the main door, he stops. The Strahd's children have been assaulting this house for many, many days until my father had passed. I think we'll be okay on this night. He walks up to the main door. He starts knocking on it. You hear a female's voice on the other side.
Brother, is that you?
Aye, it is I, Arina. I come with guests.
Can they be trusted?
He looks back at all of you. I believe so. They are not from these lands. The door creaks and cranks and opens up. Standing at the doorway is Irina. She has red auburn hair, very beautiful, in her early 20s. She's wearing chainmail armor with leather. She's holding a short sword. She's holding it straight out, not shaking, violently, defiantly, aiming it at all of you as she opens the door, looking past her brother. She resembles a striking, she has a striking resemblance to the Red Queen from your previous adventure. Very beautiful reddish hair. She holds her blade out. If any of you are in the league with the Devil Strahd, I will cut you down before you take another breath, she says.
I just smile at her and go,
I told her, don't worry. We are here just for a safe passage to get some help to our town. And then your brother asks us to help him protect you to safety.
She looks over at you. Let's make a persuasion roll, please. It's a high one. But it's you, of course. Oh! I've heard from your kind before. I do not trust an elf. Her eyes fall upon all of you. Ismark says, Irina, I swear to you, they are not in a league with the devil. Silence, brother. Let them speak for themselves.
I quickly take my axe and slam it on her sword, knocking it out of her hand if I can.
Make a intimidation roll.
Imitation, anything to add to that?
Charisma, I believe?
Yep.
Which I don't have, only 7.
As you do that, you totally miss, and with lightning speed, she pulls it back and she aims it right at your throat. To you guys, you're pretty shocked on how astute and well she is holding a sword, and you're pretty shocked, and you feel it right against your skin. Are you sure they can be trusted? She says.
I'm gonna yawn and stretch. Madam, we are not in league with a man that we do not even know. We are tired travelers. Just let us in.
Make a persuasion roll, and I'll give you advantage with this, but you'll need to make a high roll. This is 14 or higher.
Persuasion is charisma, which I have none of. 15.
We don't have
Ooh.
charisma.
No, we don't.
As he's speaking, her eyes are locked onto yours, almost to the point where you see that her eyes are so intense that she can cut you down any moment. But then she sort of eases up the tension and she lowers it. She looks over at you. My apologies. You need to understand I have been tormented by the devil for many, many years. She pulls down the part of her armor to expose her neck, and you see 4 puncture holes on the side. old injuries. Come, we will talk inside. She turns and she gently puts her hand on her brother's shoulder. Ismark looks at all of you and he says, lip syncs the words, thank you, as he turns and goes into the house. You guys following in?
Yep.
Your 8 rounds are over, sir. You're good. Welby's getting his act together.
I think it would have been funny if Welby tried with all slurred speech and all that.
Yeah, that would be. Okay. Once you enter the interior of this dwelling, it's a 2-story dwelling. It's well furnished, yet the fixtures show sign of great wear. Noticeable oddities that you see inside this home, the only thing really is that all the windows are all boarded up, and you see that there's a holy symbol carved or painted throughout the entire residence. Above the front door, when you walk in, you immediately pick up the smell of garlic, and you see cloves of garlic all around the top of the front door. There are candles throughout this area in the first floor of the house. It flickers and provides orange light. To the right, though, there's an empty room. You look in there, and you promptly observe the deceased burgomaster Koilin Odirovich lying within a makeshift wooden coffin with flowers all around him, trying to hide the odor of decay, though you can pick up a small smell of it. When the door closes, you hear the clanking of locks and wood being bolted to secure it. Irina turns and she goes next to her brother, standing there. You sort of see the resemblance. Both are very attractive young people. Irina apologizes once again. I'm sorry, but you need to understand, my life is but almost gone if Strahd gets to me one more night. Do you know anything of the devil?
No.
Ismark says they do not.
Tell me about your mark on your shoulder, by the neck.
She goes and she takes her sword and takes it off and puts it onto the side and leans against a wall. Strahd is nothing like you've ever faced or anyone you've seen. He's been obsessed with me. He keeps calling me his beloved Tatiana. Ever since I was a child, he'd come by the house trying to win my love, and my father would deny it. His constant tormenting of me and our family has put my father in the grave in the box you see in the other room. And as the years gone by, Strahd has approached me. The hunger in his eyes, I tried, but I could not resist, as I'm frozen and I pass out. The last few times I've seen him recently, I've woken outside our home with these marks on my neck. Ismark steps forward. Strahd has many spies, but he also has his children everywhere. In the forest, the dead, the wolves, and other deadly beasts are at his bickering. You got to understand, my father died because of Strahd's torment. He will not stop until he has Irina. We need to take her out of this town. Irina speaks once again. No one in this town has been brave enough. No one outside of this town has been brave enough to help us. We will give you the information you need in Veliki, but please, before we go, we must take my father to the church first thing in the morning for a proper burial. We can stay and sleep. If you have any questions, feel free, she says.
What does Tatiana mean to Strahd? Why does he call you that?
I do not know, but I'm sure someone or something will provide you that information.
I have a question. On the way here, we met an old lady with a pastry cart by the front of the village. Who is she? Why she's coming out at night? I saw the rest of the houses were closed and stay inside. People stay inside.
Ismark takes off his long, three-quarter length trench coat and places it on the side. You speak of Morgantha.
Mm-hmm.
She sells her drug-filled pies. She thinks they're helping people, but all they're doing is making them addicted to them, wanting more and more. Next thing you know, they'll be selling their children and their property just to have a piece of the pie. I hope none of you have tried her pies.
We haven't We haven't
Oh.
tried them
We
yet,
haven't tried
but...
yet.
And then I look over to Craig.
We've got one. Would you like it?
No, I do not want the pie, and I recommend you not eat the pie. Something is odd about the old woman. Strange that she walks around the night, unharmed, uncaring. Avoid her again if you see her, but do not eat the pie.
How is it we can stand against Strahd if he's so powerful?
The only one that can give you that answer, little one, is a Vistani woman named Madame Eva. She has the answers and the fortunes for many. She probably can provide you that.
Where do we find her?
At the camp.
There is a campsite which I've told your dwarf friend, your colleague, where the gypsy Vistani, they stay. They break night there mostly. They are fun-loving people, but they too cannot be trusted, for gypsies are not all what they seem. But there you will find Madame Eva. The lake is called Serpul, and it's on the way to Veliki. Madame Eva can give you that information. By the gods, if I knew a way to destroy the devil Strahd, I would do it myself. But he is just too powerful.
The way going to Rocky, do we have to go through the castle? Past the castle?
It's away from the castle.
So what happened? What's happening at the castle? An old gentleman, what? He didn't tell us, but he showed some fear.
Ismark says to you, Castle Ravenloft, named after Strahd's mother. That is where the devil resides. That is not where Veliki is. I would not go up to that castle. Not with 1,000 men. If anyone has gone to that castle has not returned, or worse, became some of his children of the night. Strahd watches. He has eyes and spies everywhere. Only go to that castle if you're ready to destroy the devil Strahd, but avoid it if you can.
Upon entering your village, I noticed that several doors were painted red with X's. What meaning is behind that?
Irina speaks up. Each X on the houses you've seen are those of the dead. People who have died have returned. We boarded those and locked up, and the X's to warn anyone, do not enter those homes. For the corpses do not remain dead, and they hunger for human flesh. Our plague doctors will not go into those structures. So we leave them locked in there, hoping their bodies would decay and wither away, she says.
What's stopping your father from coming back?
He was not killed by one of Strahd's creatures. But we need to make sure that he is placed with a proper burial, and that is why we have to take him immediately in the morning to the church. Only then we'll know he'll be at rest. Now Ismark walks over to the other room and he stands over looking down at his father sadly. I will not take his head as he lies here. He needs proper burial. Any other questions?
For everyone's safety in the house, just as a precaution, I think we should assign a watch rotation to make sure he stays in his slumber.
Irina agrees with you. Ismark says, I agree with the dwarf. I will take first watch, he says. Irina says, I will take second watch. What's the order you guys would like?
I'll take third, if it's my idea.
Third?
We'll go after you.
Right? Welby?
I'll take last watch. I need some sleep.
Yeah, then I go and then Bobby go.
Okay. So, here we go. Each of you lie down in different parts of the first floor of the house. They tell you the second top, when you go up the stairs, Ismark explains to you there's only 3 other bedrooms upstairs. The doors are closed. One was for him, one is for Irina, and one was for his father. That's all it is upstairs. So the rest of you is sleeping in separate rooms downstairs, resting. So, we had 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay? 1, 2, 3, and 4. The night watch begins. It's Craig. Craig, in your sleep, you're woken up as Orskin, looking very tired. He shakes for you, for it's your turn to keep watch. You go, you lie down to get some sleep. You immediately, your head hits the floor, you're out. You sit up in the house, looking at everyone, and it's very quiet. You begin to hear some strange sounds in the night coming from upstairs. It sounds like a creaking sound, something tapping on a glass, a window upstairs.
I ignore that. I'm looking at the body, seeing if it's doing anything.
Make it an investigation.
One second.
What's that?
Only an 8.
It looks dead. This guy looks dead.
Okay, upper 0.
His body looks at peace, but he looks dead. His body is stiff. You've seen dead bodies, and you're standing looking at him. The body is extremely stiff, motionless. The smell of decay is a little stronger than before.
Well,
The noise is upstairs. You still hear it.
but you said it's tapping on a window.
You think. You can't tell. You can hear it. Squeaking and tapping. Squeaking and tapping.
Quietly go up to the stairs. And I'll go up to the top of the stairs and look, but I won't go any further than that. I just want to see what's going on.
You have night vision.
What?
You have night vision.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I can see in the dark.
You slowly start making your way up the stairs. Every time you place your foot, there's a creaking noise. But the noise that you hear upstairs is still going. A creaking and a tap. A creaking and a tap. You sort of peek up and you see a hallway that spans about 40 feet. To your left are multiple windows. One of the windows in the middle appear to be open. And you see the curtains falling out. And there's noises coming from that window. The 3-bedroom doors to your right are closed. And at the very far end of this corridor is another window, and that one also appears to be closed.
She said one window's open.
Right now, from where you're at, that's what you can see as you peek up.
Yes, I can see in the dark, I can see that. I want to try to sneak to the window and quickly close it. I will look out the window and close it.
Make an investigation roll, please.
Intuition, still nothing. 19.
Oh, even better.
Still nothing.
You go over to the window. What is it you like to do?
Just quickly close it. Don't look out, just close it and close the curtains. I said just close the windows, I'll see what happens.
Okay. You reach up, but regardless, you see in the distance by the church a green glow. Do you want to keep looking, or are you going to close the door and just leave? There's some activity going on by the church.
Can I still see out the window if I close it? Or is it like
Yeah.
opaque?
Yeah, you
So I
can
want
take a
to
peek.
quietly close the window and just peer at the bottom.
You do see that there is an eerie glow coming from the church's graveyard below the mist. From this light, you start noticing in the graveyard ghostly images and shapes slowly rising from the ground. Wavering images of women holding great swords, elves and men with slender bows and spears, dwarves with glittering battle axes, and archaically dressed mages with long beards, pointy hats, all of them rising from the grounds, transparent with green glows. More and more as the seconds rise, and they start making their way, floating through the gates of the cemetery, marching up towards the castle in the distance. What first starts out as 20 apparitions turns to 40, to 60, to 100. More and more of these spirits slowly rising, heading up towards this march towards the castle in the distance. At that moment, Ismark stands next to you, almost surprises you, as he's staring out also, and his face has a glow of green as he looks out to the cemetery. Don't be startled, my friend. That is the march of the dead. People like you have came to these lands. People like you who had run in with Strahd. Unlike you, they did not make it. But there is no peace in death for them, as every night they rise to go challenge Strahd. But alas, they never defeat him.
So they pose no danger to us now.
None. They're no threats to us. And they're definitely no threats to Strahd. And as you look, you just see it's an endless parade of ghostly images, all sorts of Dungeons and Dragon type characters, all moving up. zombie-like, dragging their weapons, walking up these ghosts up towards the castle.
Do you know if you kill Strahd, if they'll be released?
If Strahd is killed, we are all released.
Okay, so I they can quietly return back down to the group. Because there's no danger, all that. We continue to sleep and finish my shift.
And Ismark tells you, rest up, my friend. I will watch. All right. And the rest of you sleep peacefully,
Was it on the window? Oh, yeah.
and nothing else occurs that night. So it is dawn, and you guys all wake in this house.
That counted as a long rest, yes?
Yes. The morning has finally arrived as all of you wake up and you start fixing yourselves, getting ready. Irina has placed out bread and black coffee in cups, and it's actually nice and warm and pleasant as she puts them all out in front of you. In the other room, you hear Ismark working feverishly, wrapping his father's body in a cloth and using some rope, trying to gently but firmly tighten up every slack on the rope to cover the body completely in this blanket. Ismark tries to lift his father. Irina, some help, please! And Irina bows her head to you. She runs over to help her brother, and even she's sort of struggling as they're trying to lift him out of the coffin.
We can help them.
You gonna help?
Sure.
Okay. Craig walks over. Ismark makes eye contact with you, and he sort of looks at you and bows his head. And you almost get a sense of a brotherly bond between both you and Ismark. Thank you, my friend. You lift him up. Make a strength roll. This is low. This is 8 or higher.
So mine is 13.
Yeah, easily you pick up the body, and you guys walk out. The rest of you are finishing up your breakfast. Irina is holding the legs. You see the dwarf buddy of yours, Craig, holding the front. Ismark is in the middle. In the distance outside, the bells are sounding. Different birds are going. Out from the windows, you can see there is a gray light spilling in between the boards. Irina says, "My friends, are you ready to go to the church?"
Alright.
Down the rest of my coffee and go open the door.
Okay. Slight hangover, but you're good. Upon opening the door, there's overcast and there's some thick rain clouds above, and it prevents the sun, the morning sun, from punching through to this sad village. Upon exiting, you see the only people in the streets are two peasant couple, a very young couple. They're somberly walking around the streets, looking for somebody, calling out names. Alexei! Maria, where are you? Please! Please come home to mother and father! Maria, Alexei! By the gods, please take us instead! As they continue to walk through the streets, they pay no attention to the four of you, or you and Irina or Ismark holding the father. Ismark turns to you, Greg, as he's holding his father, and he says in a low, somber voice, "These are sad days, my friend. Let us make haste to the church."
Don't worry, they'll get better.
Okay. And you guys are going to say or do anything?
Okay. So,
Okay. The sad couple, obviously looking for their kids, walks and they disappear between some houses. Though it is daylight, it's a gray overcast. It is extremely dismal. There's a light rain. The streets are still soaking wet. You hear sounds in buildings where people are moving about, but you see no other persons. You start making your way up towards the church. Atop a slight incline at the hill at the end of the road, against the backdrop of Castle Ravenwell, stands a gray, sagging church of stone and wood. This old church has obviously weathered through the assaults of evil over the centuries and appears worn and weary. A bell tower rises to the side of this church, to the rear rather. You also see large ravens all about, sitting all around the church, staring down at you. Large ravens with red eyes as they watch as you slowly make your way to the church. A thick mist slowly moves around a creepy graveyard to the side throughout the tombstones, like a cat looking for prey. You stand looking at the main doors of the church. Ismark, Craig, and Irina holding the bodies. Ismark looks back. Irina says to the rest of you, "Father Donovich is inside. He will grant us shelter and say prayers and give us permission to bury my father in the grave."
Any questions before we go in, she says. Okay. They go up to the doors and they go to open it up. I gotta set up these. Hold on. Okay, it's gonna take me about a minute to set this up, so just be patient, guys. So, and then our torches. Let's put all the figures right here. And this is Irina. The doors of the church open to reveal a 10-foot by 20-foot long hallway leading into a brightly lit chapel. The hall you're at actually is unlit and reeks of mildew. You see there are 4 doors, 2 on each side of you in this hallway, and they lead to adjacent chambers. You can see that this chapel is strewn with debris, a lot of the pews have been destroyed, and you hear the soft whisper of somebody reciting prayer. You see there's a hooded figure on his knees in front of an altar. The bells ring high above in the belfry. So, as you're standing there, you start hearing shouts and yelling coming from beneath the church. Ismark sort of stops as he's holding and he looks back at Irina and they both look at each other and they look at all of you. It's hard to make out, but you hear it's somebody in pain underneath the church.
I thought this was a place of worship. What is the meaning of these pain screams?
Ismark looks at you confused and Irina, and you can tell they're obviously confused. They look all at each other as they hold their father. Ismark says, "Let us place my father gently on the ground." Places down, Irina. Are you also?
Yes.
They place, and they lay it down on the ground. Well, where you stand at the bottom, you see the wood planks. There's spaces, and one of the spaces is about a half-inch gap horizontal. As you look down at the ground, you swear you see bloodshot eyes looking up at you in the crawl space. And there's a loud thud and a huge yell.
I can't smell your blood.
And now you guys all hear it. And then
It disappears. The eyes disappear into the darkness below you. Irina and Ismark look startled and they grab their weapons. And it sends chills up your body because he was looking right at you.
I'm definitely gonna grab my weapon.
You're not drunk now.
I'm definitely not drunk anymore.
Ismark and Irina looking at everyone, and they look just as confused and horrified. Come, Father Donovich, we'll have answers for us all. Now we can keep going. You could stop. You could peek down more if you wanted the ground. Or you can check the doors, or we can all go into the chapel. Or you could leave the church altogether. What are your choices?
Okay, let's go see what the priest has to say.
Yeah, let's get in the chapel and talk to the father. Father Donovich.
Everybody agrees?
Fine with me.
Okay.
Came here for the task to do.
We are on
Okay.
alert.
And the yelling is constantly hearing below you. And it's basically repeating, Father, feed me. I can smell their blood. Why do you forsake me? And the person in the basement is tormented.
But we heard only one voice.
Right now you can hear one
One,
voice.
okay.
Is it similar or different from the one that just poked up at Welby?
Make a perception roll.
That is an 11.
Sounds the same.
Okay.
Alright. The chapel is in shambles, and you do see overturned pews and everywhere. The priest that is sitting there, he has a hood. He's in his 60s, and he has a white beard. He's sort of heavy set. He's wearing a brown soiled robe. He turns around from the altar, and his eyes make contact with each of you. He looks sad and somber. He do take notice of the yells that are beneath the church, but his eyes fall upon Ismark and Irina. Morning, Lord, praise be. My children, come to me. And he holds up his hands, and Irina and Ismark run at him, and they all embrace and hug as the shouting continues on the lower levels. They hug and they embrace. You see them, they're talking, and the father looks over at all three of you. I am Father Donovich. Who are you, my sons and daughters? He says.
I'm Welby Goodbarrel, sir.
I'm Mariskin Leaf Spoken.
I am Naivara Shilosian.
I'm Greg. We're here to help Ismark and Ariana, but we'd like to know what the screams are that we heard when we walked in.
That's a good question. So Donovich says to you, I am embarrassed and ashamed being a holy man for you to hear what is going on below the undercroft of my church. But allow me to explain, he says. Little more than a year ago, my son Daru and several of his villaging friends, they stormed Castle Ravenloft in revolt. They've been lured there by a wizard, much like yourselves in Black Road. He came to Barovia from beyond the mists. By all accounts, this wizard who convinced them to revolt, they called him the Mad Mage. Apparently, when they went to the castle to revolt against the devil Strahd, they all died at his hands, including this Mad Mage. So I thought. For you see, days later, my son Daru returned to me, not as himself, but as a monster. And he does a hand gesture of a holy symbol from his head to his chest. Since he's returned, I had to trap Daru in the church's undercroft for one day. I witnessed him feasting on a child and mother who've come here for salvation. I knew what kind of abomination my son is, so I locked him into the cellar where he's been there 3 years to this day. 3 years he's been yelling and screaming at me, tormenting me. He has not died, no food, no water. How can my son still be alive? I've tried to put him out of his misery, but I'm a proud father. I've held him as a child, I've kissed his cheek, I've cleaned him, I've fed him. I cannot harm my child. You guys hear this going on. I pray that somehow, some way, the Morning Lord will grant me salvation, and maybe it is in the likes of all of you.
I don't think that's your son anymore. That's a monster.
The last little one,
My mind, my brain agrees with you, but my heart does not. For that is my dear son beneath us.
I'm so hungry.
Should you choose to end his suffering, provide us holy water, we'll dump it on him for you.
Do you know what holy water does? Let's make a religion check with disadvantage, and not to be meta, but you'll need a 17 or higher. That means you studied that.
That's a nat one.
Nat 1! Yeah, you have no idea about what holy water does or anything like that, so, you know, so the father looks at everyone in the room. I cannot bring myself to harm my son. I spoke with Irina and Ismark. I offered to bury their father in the grave outside. But if you were willing to help me bring salvation to my child, please.
What exactly do you want? Do you want us to kill him or try to save him from Strahd?
Do not mention the devil's name anymore in my house. He is the reason my son is below us, acting this way, acting a fool. But free him. Then Strahd, the devil will not have a grasp on my son.
I need to feed.
Go after Strahd. If it doesn't work, we can deal with it later.
Alright.
Irina says, no, let's do it now. Father Donovan is helping bury our father. Now Ismark says, I agree with my new friend. I think we should just leave. Irina says, no. And you guys hear this going back and forth. Ismark sides with him. Irina's like, no, let's help the priest. He's helping us. The father stands looking at all of you defeated.
How is it we can deal with this creature?
All I can say is the weapons that I do not have, which all of you apparently do.
The sun has lasted 3 years. He can make it another week while we try to deal with Strahd.
Ismark says, Irina, I agree with Craig. We are wasting time. Let us take you to Veliki, like he says. Leave the beast, the abomination, in the cellar. Father Donovich says, Ismark, that is my son, my beautiful son. I cannot leave him in there anymore. If your friends can dispatch him and release him to the Morning Lord, that would be a holy blessing for my salvation, for every day I hear his constant yelling.
So you want his father to kill him, to release him?
I want you to release him. Now Ismark looks over at you and he looks at everybody else. I will agree with the dwarf, whatever he chooses. Irina sort of steps back and she stands next to all of you. What say you, friends?
You say he's chained up down there? Or does he have free movement?
He is free in the basement below.
I need to feed.
Never mind, we kill Strahd. He may not have to be killed at all. The sun.
Irina says, that is another day of Father Donovich suffering, hearing the cursed yells from his son in the basement.
But he gets his son back and gets him back for the rest of his life.
I do not agree with you or Ismark. We have to dispatch this child for Father Donovich and for this child's soul.
It might be a good idea to see what we're up against. We can't handle this vampire. How can we deal with Strahd?
Now again, Ismark is standing next to Craig, just listening to him, like buddied up with him. But Irina is listening to all of you, and you seem to be agreeing, so.
Lord Welby, Lady Irina, the task asked of us was to get you to Veliki, to safety. Do you want us to waste precious time in getting you to a haven to deal with this issue?
I want to be away from the devil, little man. I agree. However, my father needs to be buried, and if Father Donovich is doing us this favor, at least we can do a favor for him and dispatch him from the horrible screams of his son below us.
I want some blood.
For me, let's help Father Donovich, and then we probably get the hang of what we're gonna face. This is just one. We might have to face the whole army of Strahd.
So you want to kill the son. You want to kill the son.
Yeah. And then on top of that, doesn't mean that we don't know. Even kill Strahd, we don't know that if he's gonna die.
Son's not
What's
going
gonna
anywhere.
happen?
We need him back. And it's not the sun's fault that he's like this. Strahd did this to him.
We also don't know if defeating Strahd will save him.
Yes.
We could have to
I'm so
kill him anyways.
hungry.
We're not giving him the chance to find out.
His father's already forsaken him.
Well, if that's what the group wants, but I don't think it's fair to the sun.
Ismark says, I agree with the dwarf, whatever he says. Irina says, I think we should go and help Father Donovan.
So right now it's 3-2. Welby?
Irina says, she sort of stands next to Nirvana. It is true that if we go downstairs, you will know what you're facing. I know what is down there. I cannot face that alone.
If Irina is refusing to leave and she's our mission, then we need to take care of whatever it takes to get her out of the city.
Okay, let's
Agreed?
face it.
Agreed. Ismark looks at you. Donovan and the whole party looks at you.
I'm a member of the group. If that's what they want, we'll do it. I still think it's fair to the sun.
Okay. The father says, he points down the corridor where you guys first came. It is the first door to your right when you walked in. So from where you're standing, my children, it is the left door. Second door to the left. Now the father turns and gets on his hands and knees and begins to pray.
Alrighty then.
Let's roll.
Weapons out, let's do it.
Play your death. Play your death. Play your death. Okay, so Ismark sort of looks at you. Be brave, my warrior. May the morning lords watch over you. He bows his head.
I'll be back to bury your father.
He puts his hand on your shoulder, reassuring, and again, you guys are having this really good bond with each other. Irina walks over towards her father is down the hall. She goes and starts dragging him towards the chapel. She's having a hard time. Ismark goes and he helps her. They bring her to the chapel. So now it is the four of you guys. You going down?
Yes.
Which door are we going to first?
We want to just get this over with.
Yes, I can go first.
Yeah, which door you want to open up?
Which door? To the right? Louis one to the right?
What did he say was to the left?
Yeah, from where we are,
Oh,
second door on the
Second
left.
door to the left. That's right. We go right there. Do we want to check the other doors? Oh, actually, we check. Can we ask Father first?
What's
So
behind
what
the other
are what's behind other doors?
My young child, the other doors are other rooms in the house. My room, Daru's room, and my study. The room for which Daru is, there is the cellar door, chained. That is the door closest to the entrance to your left.
All right. So I go to that door.
This one?
Mm-hmm. That one, right?
Yep.
That's to the left.
You want me to put you guys all close up?
Yeah, I'll stand behind you.
Irina and Ismark stay over here with Donovich and their father, and the party gathers up.
I'd like to prepare an action.
Victor. Now remember, you still have Victor, so if you want on your turn, you can have him do stuff. Yes.
Should our adversary rush us, I'm going to cast Bark Skin.
Okay. So, okay. You know what that does? All right. You're opening the door.
I will open the door.
The door opens up, and time and neglect have punched holes in the ceiling of this moldy room. It contains a few broken roof shingles on the ground and all puddles of mud and water. And in one corner, set onto the floor, is a heavy, appears to be a trap door, and it's shut with all these large chains and a padlock. But below, of course, you still continue to hear the young man's screams.
I can't smell you. Blood.
I'm going right in to the trap door. Actually, get in and look around.
Alright.
Around the room.
Make a perception roll. 10 or higher. Wisdom. Wisdom.
Plus wisdom.
You roll it.
13.
Yeah, you got it. As you go into the room, the trapdoor, you see it crack open as if someone's lifting it up. You see these bloodshot eyes looking at you, and then it, boom, shuts closed. Nothing else in the room other than the puddles and the debris and the holes in the ceiling.
Okay, so seems like that the son of Father Zarovich is free underneath. So everybody prepare. I'm gonna unlock the trapdoor.
Alright.
So I think that it might be best that we open the door and let him come up to us. So I kind of have a planning instead of going down there. So let him come up.
Question. Does the trapdoor open up like this, or is it like a cellar door where
It comes up,
it comes up?
opens upward, right? So if you pop
If
it
I
up,
were you, I'd stand behind it so you can lift it up in case he jumps out at you. You got the
And
door to
then
protect you.
I'm gonna let him come up instead of us going down there.
If he wants to, I think we'd be better off him coming to us than us going to him.
I'm so
That's what I
hungry.
think. All right, are we be ready then?
all right.
Okay, so I go there and open.
All the figures are in the room. You're standing over now. There's heavy change. You see, there's a padlock. And you want to pick the lock. You have lock picking tools.
Donovan
Or you
didn't
can
give
try
us
to
a
break
key
it.
to deal with this.
You can
There's
ask.
a padlock, you say?
Yes. Oh, Welby cracks his knuckles, and you see a little toddler-looking Welby walks in front of you.
I think that Victor and I can take care of this one.
Okay.
Alright.
Holy crap. Okay. It's a high roll. 12.
I'm gonna use what, sleight of hand?
Yep.
You have the axe.
I have another idea. That's going to be a 16.
Oh. Welby gets on his hands and knees, and you hear him tinkling with this lock. And he cracks it open, moves the chains around. There's no movement coming from underneath. It doesn't fly open. It suddenly falls extremely quiet. You don't hear the person in the cellar making any noises whatsoever. Welby has the chains in his hands. It's very eerily quiet now beneath the other church.
I'm gonna toss the chains aside and then kind of roll backward.
Okay. Dun, dun, dun. He's done. He's going home. Bye, guys. I'll be at the tavern. Round 2 win.
I pull the door open and
Vampire,
let it open and
You
then
open?
step back. Yes.
Okay. You reach down to open it up, and it's sort of stuck in its place, but you pry and you pry. It slowly comes up. The light mist spills outside, and you see Navarra open it up. And nothing comes out. From where you're at, you see some wooden stairs going down into somewhat darkness. No noises, no movement, no cries, nothing. All of you see this. Who's going down first? And again, just off the side note, you guys really work together. Death is possible early. I've had one group where they died early, so I just throwing that out there real quick. Okay. So
Are
play
there
smart.
torches
Play
down
smart. Excuse me.
Can we see like the torches down here?
No, from where you're at, looking yeah, it's lit and there's light because there's holes in the ceiling.
But nothing down in the hole.
No, you just see from where you're at, you can see the stairs going into darkness. You have dark vision, so you can see them going down. It looks
Yeah, I gotta stick my head down
I
there.
think
But
all
your
of
guys'
us
idea.
except Welby have dark vision.
everybody but Welby, right?
I can take care of myself.
Sounds like we have a volunteer.
So the church, from where you guys can see, the undercraft has rough stone, woodish stairs. There's stone and there's wood in the middle planks that lead down to a damp clay floor. From where you're at, you can see there's rusty pillars and they're straining under the weight of the church's ceiling, or the floor of the church. Now the candlelight from the main chapel actually spills down through the cracks of the church's floor, making the cellar somewhat visible, but it still has lots of dark shadows. And from where you guys are at looking down, you see there's multiple pillars. You actually see one of the wood beams on the ground resting. You also notice numerous dead rats all around the floor of the cellar.
Nice. He's still alive. I'm going to touch my rapier and use the light cantrip. So now the rapier is going to shed bright light in a 20-foot radius and dim light another 20 feet.
You will not have problems now in the dark. Excellent. Now comes the big question. Who goes first?
Me? Why me? It wasn't my idea.
He's like, I didn't want to
It
use
wasn't
it
his
first.
idea.
I mean, you wanted to talk to him, see if he could be saved.
I'll
You're
go
the
first.
strongest.
Oh, thank you.
They're coming to kill you. Run away.
I can see down, right? I can see into the pit, yeah?
You could see down in the darkness, yeah.
So if I put my head down and kind of look around, can I see where he is?
Well, you gotta tell me you're gonna put your head down and look.
Yeah. Sure, I want to go head first.
Oh boy.
You have a dice out there somewhere, though. So I gotta use this one. Oh, I do it right here.
Okay, so I'll go down. Why not? I'll go foot first, thanks, not head first. Okay, foot over this. And I do have a spell I want to use if I can make it down.
Okay. Slide this all the way down there, please. Let me get another map. If you guys die, I want you to go back and watch this stream and look at the expressions on your face. It's gonna be great.
I've got 3 people watching right now.
That's
See
good.
what they say.
Yeah, right.
I need another 6, 7, 8.
Thank you. Right here. Oh, is that you're an elf?
Well, it's just what she gave me.
Oh, okay.
But I'm supposed to be a dwarf.
I asked you. You said you want someone.
I said he's cute, but he's not a dwarf.
We can get a dwarf. What a real dwarf.
Okay, grab a real dwarf. Forgive my transmorphification.
All right.
Yeah, that's your dwarf. I gave you the first one. You said you don't want that one.
She asked me if it was cute. I said yes.
So, Craig, you take your first step and you peer down below you. You see it's a very large area, and there are columns, wood columns that connect the floor of the clay earth going up to the ceiling where the church floor is. Cracks, you see beams and pillars of light coming from the brightly lit church spilling down. There's lots of shadows, and from where you're at, you really can't tell or see anything at the top of the stairs. The rest of you see Craig sort of peering. He's frozen. He's not moving. So
I let them know that I can't see anything at the top of the stairs, so I'll move down to the bottom so I can take a look.
put your character at the bottom of the stairs.
Thank you.
He goes down. You guys all see him. The tension is palpable. You look around. There's a foul smell of sewage. It's really nasty. Yes.
I'll stand at the top of the stairs and keep an eye on him.
Okay. Put your character closer.
You can witness my death.
I shall tell tale of your
Sing my
sacrifice to the
songs.
bard so that he may sing your song.
From where you're at, there are other planks of wood on the ground that have rusted and fell over. It is dark, but there are shadows and there are some light, so you can't make out. Now make a perception roll. This is with disadvantage. It's 14 or higher.
Okay, 1 second.
2 dice. 2 20-sided dice.
A 16 and a 17. I
Oh,
don't know if I have it.
nice.
Perception, they're all +2, so 18 and 19.
You hear the sounds of rocks and pebbles falling on the far corner over here. But from where you're at, you really can't make out because of the poles and the shadows.
How far away is that?
Each box is 10 feet because they're large. So this will be 10, this is 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, and so on and so on and so on.
So I'm only halfway away.
Yeah.
Okay, do I have anything left on my move?
No. What would you like to do?
I'm keeping watch with my prepared action to cast bark skin on myself.
Can I tell him where I heard
Go ahead.
movement?
Yep.
I heard movement in the far left corner of the room.
Okay. So we'll have to yell out, "Go ahead and take a look!"
Send Victor in.
Yeah. Hey, there you go. You want to send Victor in?
Everybody wants the monkey to die. It's so mean.
Very fast.
Send in the monkey.
I'm gonna take my shield out, so I've got my rapier and my shield, and I'm gonna start down the stairs.
Oh boy. Welby makes it down the stairs. You two are overwhelmed. Your nostrils are assaulted by the smell of sewage. It's a foul stench. Navarre, what would you like to do?
I will follow behind Robbie.
Put yourself on the stairs. So right now everyone is on the stairs. At the bottom you see Craig. You have your weapon out, sir?
Just my battle axe.
Your battle axe. And Craig seems to be squinting and staring at the far corner. It's pretty far. It's a good about 100 feet
I'm
away.
gonna have Victor stay up here.
At the top, Victor goes, no fucking problem. So yeah, Victor is not going down.
Tiny
So,
dead things everywhere. Just stay
all
up
right,
here.
now we're back to you.
Okay, so if I understand right then, for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. If it's each 5,
Yeah.
that makes sense?
No, 10 per
100
box.
feet.
100 feet away, darn.
You can double your movement speed if you dash, but then you can't take any other action.
Can I do one movement and a action?
Yeah.
Okay. Move me up at least 2 boxes of wood. So from, is that 1 move or 2?
That's just with 3. You're here, right?
I was there.
So it's 1 and 2. That would be your full. That's 40.
You can't catty corner that because there's a pillar.
Yeah.
Okay. Is this enough a straight shot? Because I have what's called a chromatic order, which is good for up to 90 feet.
That would not be a straight shot. You'd have to be here, and you could probably go fill up this area.
Okay. Then I'll have
So
to
one
move once
block
more.
is 20.
Okay.
Then I'll have to move much more, and that's it.
So we'll go around the road. Sir, what would you like to do? Actually, you know what? Let's do it in the order here. Welding.
I can't move quite that far.
Just get close enough so you can catch my head.
So I'm just behind Greg.
Okay, I grab my longbow out and I can move 45, but I'm gonna move 1, 2, 3, 4 right behind you.
Right?
Or 45, kind of like that.
You, sir.
I will go to the bottom of the stairs and wait for there, still maintaining my whole action.
You're at the top of the stairs, right?
No, I'm down
Moving
to the bottom of the stairs.
Okay.
But I'm still holding my whole action.
You got it. It's still definitely quiet in the Undercroft. Now we're top of the order. What would you like to do?
Okay. Here. Now, can I affect this area?
Is that the range you have?
90 feet.
Explain what is it you're gonna do?
So it's called Chromatic Order. I hurl a 4-inch diameter sphere of energy at a creature that you can see within the range. You choose acid, cold, fire, lightning, or poison. Actually, that's my apologies.
But can you see the creature?
Right. There's no creature you can see, but you heard the noise in that area though.
What if I can't see him? If I have to actually see him?
Yeah, creature you can see.
Okay, hang on. That's why.
You can turn around. You have 3 creatures behind you.
Great.
I mean, some spells like that, you can take a blind shot if
That's
at
what I
the
don't know if
discretion
you do
of the
that.
DM.
Okay, hang on a second. Okay. It is something. Okay. Anyway, so I'm just gonna move one more, and then I'm gonna stop.
Okay. Next is going to be Navarra.
Not Bill.
Oh, Wilby. I'm sorry.
Good times. 10, 20, 5.
Anything else? Any actions? Okay. Next is Navarra.
So, with my stealthiness, I'm going to move right here. Oh, that's 45.
Okay.
And then try to pierce through if I can see anything at all.
Make a perception roll.
Yes!
What did you roll?
20!
Nice. Nat 20. You start looking around very carefully with that excellent roll. Looking in the distance over there, you see nothing but shadows, shifting light from above coming down. Dust particles fall and dance in the light like snow. You start scanning that corner over there. It is also dark, but you see nothing really of movement or attention. Your eyes begin to scan this darkened area. There are lots of poles and shadows, but you still see nothing. And you turn to this area, and all you see is Oriskin at the bottom of the stairwell, but your eyes slowly scan up the ceiling, where you see a half-naked man clinging to the roof eyes blood red with a big smile, fangs that's hanging like a bat on the ceiling. His eyes look at you, then his eyes fall upon Orskin. He hisses loudly. Roll for initiative.
Alrighty. So my whole action goes on, my cat bark
Yep.
skin, and then at the beginning of combat, I have an item bioprotect me to increase my AC by 2.
Okay.
So I have 18 AC now.
And 21.
It's on. Player death. Player. Alright, let me do my initiative roll. I rolled an 8. Of course I did. Alright, anybody 15 to 20?
21.
Good job. 10 to 15.
11.
I have 18.
You have 18? Oh. Orson.
5.
Oh, you're last.
So he fell in behind.
Yeah, he was on the ceiling and he saw him, he made eye contact, and he dropped down like a spider on the stairs right behind him.
Run, Victor, run.
Well now, Craig, you're up. You hear her, she yells out, "Look behind you!"
Too far away to sit my spell, unfortunately.
So,
Probably not too far away. Even there. Okay. Can you move diagonal like this? Can you do that?
Yeah, I'll let you do it.
Okay. 1, 2, 3 will be 15 feet. And if it's 15 feet you have for me, I can do my burning hands.
Okay, it's a ranged attack.
Yep.
Go for it.
What number do I need to get to hit?
I will tell you when you make the roll.
Okay.
And then you guys can figure it out when I start saying missing, close.
8. Well, do I add anything to it? Or just
Dexterity pluses.
dexterity plus 8? So all
Modifier.
Do I have a modifier?
On your dexterity, is there a number?
11.
Yes, 11. Great.
Plus 3 to your roll.
Yeah, so
What?
only 11 with the plus 3.
So it's 14.
Nope, just 11.
Oh, 11?
I got an 8.
Okay, your fire shoots straight from your hands, misses the Doru, the vampire, and smashes in the wall next to him.
Okay, so much my magic.
Alright, that's it?
All I had.
Okay, Navarra, you're up.
So, I
He's going to rain hell on Orskin, and you can see that.
that, and then I use my longbow and try to get the shot at him, and then hopefully give some time to Oriskin to move away.
If you miss, hell is going to fall upon that guy right there.
Oh shit.
You need a nut tray.
Oh no.
Is your arrow?
Yes.
Go for it.
20.
Oh, 30-20. That is a
30,
hit.
20.
Roll for damage.
Damage is
So it's higher than 11, but lower than 20.
8 plus 4.
Good sound.
Oh, shucks. Only 6.
Okay, and it actually gets cut in half, so he takes 3 damage. Barely doing anything, the arrow goes through him completely. He turns and hisses at you, but his eyes fall back on Orskin. Saliva drools from his mouth because it's hungry, and Doru, you're the closest one to him. It is Welby's turn. You see this also. This creature is savagely starving and looking right at your buddy. Welby, help him. He wants Orson blood.
No, I can't help just jab us. It's supposed to like but I'm going to ready an action.
Okay.
So if Doru comes within range of me, I'm going to attack.
With what?
My rapier.
Alright. Anything else? And now it is Daru's turn. He runs at you. As a 19 hit.
Yep.
And then so 16 hit.
No.
Okay, the first hit he does is he uses his hands and claws straight down. You feel great pain. Six points of slashing damage. That'll be his turn. Next up, Orskin, it's you, bro.
Alrighty. I'm gonna look at him and I'm gonna give him a strong left hook with my ram ring.
Ooh! What does that do again?
+7 on attack, 2d10 force damage, and pushes target 5 feet away.
Go for it. You better not roll like a 5 and under, bro.
That's a 6.
He is super fast.
Wait. Hold on. 6, 7, that's 13. I'm going to use a +1 token to go up to 14.
14. And he is so quick, he misses, you miss, he swings, he jumps over, leaps with speed you've never seen before, and lands back on the ground. That was a 13, right?
That is a
14, yeah, you missed. Yep.
Okay.
Anything else?
How
many charges does that ring have?
It has 2, so it's got 1 more.
Okay.
Nope, that's all I can do.
Okay, and now it is top of the order, Craig. Some serious combat going on, bro.
Yeah, this time I'll try my Chromatic Order. If I only do 1 spell per turn, how does that work? I have 3 spells I have available to me. Can I draw 3?
You don't, no, not all at one time.
No, 1 at a time.
Casting is 1
One per
action.
turn.
Okay. Alright,
Unless
so
it says bonus action.
Right, then you could do it.
okay, this is Chromatic Orb. I'm going to choose fire damage if it hits.
Okay.
Let's see. 21.
Woo, that is a hit. And what happens?
Okay, a 4-inch diameter sphere of energy at a creature. If the attack hits, the creature takes 3d8 damage of the type you choose. So 3d8 fire damage.
Okay.
Can I have these? An 8? An 8? Okay. Thank you.
Resistances.
Knock him prone and tie him up.
So, do I just roll to see how much damage? Or
Yeah, you ready to hit?
17 points damage. Does that get cut in half too?
No. I was looking. Not at all. Yeah, how much was it? 17?
17.
Wow. His body singes and burns and cracks. Good job. Anything else?
No, actually, yeah, I'm gonna take 1 step towards him. In case I want to use my sword or something.
Alright. Navarre, you're up.
Oh wow. So I'm gonna change because since the longbow just get through, nothing doing to him, no damage. Very little. So I'm gonna change to a long sword. I'm gonna move closer as well.
Okay.
He's still at that spot, right?
Right at the bottom of the stairs, yep.
Okay, we're gonna get closer. I'm gonna use my long sword and try to chop off his head.
Go for it.
Not 20, not 20, not 20, not 20.
It's not gonna happen. 11.
19.
That is a hit. Roll for damage.
So it's a 2.
After that, it's going to be ground down 3. 2 points of slashing damage. He does take damage though. Anything else, young lady?
No, that's it.
Okay. No bonus actions? Okay. Welby, you're up.
I'm gonna cast Vicious Mockery on him.
Oh, I gotta hear this.
Probably not like really. Filthy beasts, prepare to die. Doesn't matter how hard you try. Here we are, and you will fight. You will die.
Okay.
We ate this morning, you haven't.
I rolled a 18 on my save throw. Believe it or not, I thought it was 13.
I think that's more than enough, but let me check.
I'm so hungry.
He wants an Oriskin sandwich.
I need to feed.
That's enough anyway. That's fine. It did not work.
It did not work. Okay, so obviously, yeah, it didn't work.
Yeah, it's 13. My spell save is 13. Yeah.
Okay. Anything else, sir?
No.
It is Daru's turn. All of you see a lot of the injuries and burn marks and the slashes and the arrow holes all start to heal and close up magically right before your eyes. He's going to pounce you if I get the hit. He leaps in the air. There's a 12 hit. You jump out the way and he lands on the ground. Misses you completely. And he gets another attack. He's going to turn to Navarra, hiss, and now he's going to leap at you and try to pounce you. There's a 22. He jumps on top of you, hisses, and shows his big mouth and fangs. You need to make a strength saving throw. Strength versus strength. So you'll need to beat a 19. Push him off.
Dead. Only 9.
Okay, and his fangs go right down to your neck. Of course, I fucking roll that. You jive out the way, and he closes and slams down with his teeth, almost like a suitcase, but misses, biting your neck. But he's still on top of you, and you can't. And so you guys see this. Now he's on top of Navarra, trying to bite her, clamp it down.
Oh, I forgot. What is it? Do we add the hit point for this level? Do we add up, right? The hit point maximum?
Yeah.
We add, okay.
Yeah.
Mine is
Yeah,
at
you roll a
7.
hit dice every
Yeah,
roll.
you don't have to roll. I'll give you the maximum or whatever it is.
Okay, I add 7. Mine is 7. I don't know what yours. Because I put mine is like before, like every level is 7 instead of rolling the dice. I don't know about yours.
So is Dorvin prone right now?
Yes. Yeah, they're all. He's on top of her. They're on the ground. Yep. So you're gonna get advantage if whoever hits him. Oriskin, you're up. Oh, wait, you had nothing else, right? Oh no, that was my turn. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm gonna use my vine rope and I'm gonna try to bind him.
Okay. It's a distant attack, right? Range. It's a range.
No, it's not. It's not an attack. I'm trying to use an item from my pack to just tie him up so he can't.
Okay, so you're gonna have to wrap him around with strength versus strength. Make your roll.
So 30.
15.
I got 17.
You start wrapping him up and tying him up. Excellent. Anything? Okay, top of the order. Craig, Daru is being tied up right now with the rope. He was wrestling. He tied up Daru. Daru's on the ground, hissing and screaming and squirming. He's being wrapped up with a vine.
Okay, I'm gonna use my warhammer. I'm close enough, I think, to do something. Yeah, I think. So I'm just gonna try to take my warhammer straight down on his head.
Go for it. You get advantage.
Not one.
Oh, that one!
Wait. Advantage. Roll again.
Oh, roll again. Sorry.
9.
9 and 5, 14. I think that's enough.
You go slamming down and you completely miss his head by several inches.
That's it.
That's it.
Yeah.
Next up, Navarra. He rolled off of you. You're on the ground, but half your movement to get up. So he's being, and you look over. Oriskin's on top of him, trying to tie this rope all around him.
Up and then still try to cut his head off again.
Go for it.
Yes!
What is that?
Not 20!
That's 20!
Change the dice!
What's your fifth one tonight?
Huh?
What's your fifth one?
She's killing it. What's the maximum damage with your sword? The
Maximum
most you
damage.
can do with it, yeah.
10.
So he's right now. You automatically take
10 plus
5.
4. 10 plus 4. 14.
No,
Seven-
the weapon itself. I get
weapon
before we do
itself,
doubles. Yeah, 10. So he's gonna get 5. So okay, now you're gonna roll, and we're gonna do double it. So roll
I
your dice.
see.
So roll whatever you roll right now. We're gonna just double that number.
Use it.
This is no, your damage. Damage.
damage.
Yeah. Roll for your damage. Roll a 10-sided die, and you add your strength modifiers, whatever it is.
11.
11, so it'll be 22, but it's cut in half, so he takes 11 points more. Excellent. He is bloodied. Welby, you're up.
I'm gonna move over and try and use my rapier on him.
Got advantage.
Thank God. That's gonna be an 18 to hit.
That is a hit. Roll for damage.
That's gonna be 13.
Woo! Is it a regular rapier or is it a magic rapier? So half of 13, so we're gonna say 6. But he's very bloodied. Good shot, bro. Anything else, sir? Alright. As he's struggling, his body begins to heal some more. There we go. He's going to do a strength check to try to break free.
Do I need to do anything, or
What's your strength? Your strength?
my strength mod is 0.
0, so it'll be I have to 10 or higher. You have no mods on your strength, right? I rolled a 17. So my turn is he actually breaks free. And he stands up above you. Breaks through the rope. Let's roll a 10-sided die. 1 to 10, the rope breaks. 1 to 5, the rope breaks. 6 to 10, it doesn't. Now, is it a magic?
No, it was just
Okay,
a
so
fine
make a roll.
That's a 9.
Okay, it doesn't break, but he escapes and he pushes you off. But that's his action. That's his turn, escaping. Morskin, you're up, bro.
So he's standing up now, yeah?
Yep, he's standing up now.
I'm gonna cast Moonbeam on top of him.
Okay, explain what that does.
I need you to make a Constitution saving roll. You need to beat a 15. And if you fail, you take 2d10 radiant damage.
Okay. I rolled a 19, I have a +3, so that's 22.
You survive. So you're gonna take half damage.
What type of damage is that?
Radiant.
Oh, no, it's double. So, how much damage do I take?
I have to roll.
It's half. Half of what you can. Well, it's gonna be full, whatever you're gonna roll. So.
9.
9 points of radiant damage.
Yep.
Straight up, okay. Not only be half, but because his vulnerability is radiant sunlight.
And then when he starts his turn, if he's still in the light, I get to roll again. He has to make another con save.
Oh shit.
I've already used my fire twice.
Okay.
That's how I got.
Hey, you're up.
17 point damage. So I'm gonna try again with my warhammer. 8.
You miss. Anything else?
No, nothing else I can do. At least I'm back to form.
Yeah. Navara.
Then use my longsword.
That's a hit. That was a hit. It's 4 points of slashing damage. He's taking a lot of damage, guys. Welby, finish him! Yeah.
No, that's a 1.
Oh!
Well, actually, that's worked out for me. I get to reroll that.
He gets the reroll. Never mind. Take that back.
There we go. That's gonna be a 16.
And that is a hit! Teamwork, guys. Do it.
That's gonna be 7.
That's going to be 3. He's still going. He's up.
Constitution saving roll.
Constitution is 17.
That makes it so he's going to take half damage.
But it's radiant, so make full.
Yep.
Yeah.
That is 15.
Wow.
I can deflect.
His body is singeing, burning, bubbling, blistering. Guys, he's very close, and I healed myself, and still, that really screwed him over. Orskin, that was it. Now it's Craig.
No, that's your turn.
Oh, that was my turn. Oh, I go.
Because it's at the beginning.
That's right. Now I go. He's going to go for. Where's my 4-sided dice? Did I throw one out here? Oh, there it is. 1, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Welby, I'm sorry, buddy. Alrighty. He hisses and looks at you. His claws, his nails extend. First attack. Of course. Fucking amazing. 11. Misses. Whoosh. He goes for another attack. 17. Misses again. Welby doing cartwheels. This vampire cannot get a hold. And that is his turn. Orskin, you're up.
Let's see. So he didn't move out of the.
No, he stayed right there. Yeah. He just sees blood. He's hungry. See, there he is. Yeah, that's all he wants is blood. One of you guys is just to give some blood. This wouldn't be happening. You know, they have a monkey upstairs that's just chilling out.
I'm going to use poison spray. I need you to make a Constitution saving throw.
All right, and explain to everyone what does that do?
Poison spray. My opponent makes a Constitution saving throw. On a fail, they take 1d12 poison damage.
You ready, buddy?
Yep.
Constitution 13 and 3, 16.
Yep. Makes it.
Okay. Anything else, sir?
No.
Okay. Top of the order, Craig. He has very low health.
One last time with my Warhammer.
Ah! You run at him.
I got a 3.
Yay! I love it. He's back. Sam is back. Notorious Sam. His nickname is 5 and Under. You gonna move?
5 and below.
Five
Look at the
below.
dinosaur.
Five
You know what,
below.
I'm gonna move one up. So you can attack me with my high strength.
You can grapple.
Okay, I'll
Okay, my turn, right?
Laura, he has low health.
Cool.
Shit, she always
26.
rolls high, bro. You have to hit?
They balance each other out.
Yeah.
exactly what it
7.
That's 3. FYI, he has 12 health, Welby.
So what I'm hearing is kill rate.
Anything else, Navarra? No bonus actions?
Nope, there is no bonus action.
And
I
now-
have to wait until next level.
All these.
Alrighty then. Let's see if I can hit him. 19.
With the rapier? That is a hit.
Oh, I can use it.
9. Nothing else? He's back. His health goes up. I'm not going to tell you, but he.
Make a Constitution saving.
I know, but his health goes up for regeneration. And here he goes. Oh, that's 13 and 16.
Just barely makes it.
Alright, make your rolls full because it's radiant.
That is 11.
Wow, he's very bloody. Now. You know what? I'm gonna make a roll to see if he's smart enough to take off. A roll of 3, which means no, he's not. Alright, he's gonna go for. Everyone's in the area now? Yep. 1, 2, 3, 4. You ready, Welby? It always. 3, Erskine!
Let's go!
He's gonna leap in the air to pounce on you. Roll for strength versus strength.
I'm so hungry.
I rolled a 11.
I got a 19.
Yeah. Woo! And you push him off, and he staggers and lies on the ground in a really cool Naruto pose. But that is his turn. Oh no, he gets 2 attacks, and then he's gonna swing around, and his claws are gonna go in your face with a 1, and he misses. Oh, wait a minute. He's down to 1 health. When he takes radiant damage, he doesn't get to regenerate. My bad. He has 1 health, or a skin. 1 health.
Let's see.
I apologize, guys. He regenerates unless it's the damage is done. Is radiant.
I'm gonna try.
Oh, holy water.
I'm trying to thorn whip him. a 21.
That is a hit.
So I roll a d6. 4.
Describe how you finish Daru, the vampire spawn.
My thorn stem extends into a whip, and I snap it or wraps around his neck, and I yank it, ripping his neck through.
Oh, and his neck eviscerates and opens, and his body lays on the ground, motionless. Good job, guys.
Nobody died.
First, no one died, which is pretty impressive. Okay then. So now it is quiet. His body lays on the ground. You guys have options what you want to do down here. Head back up.
We carry up to the.
Should we look for loot first?
I don't think there's gonna be loot.
I don't think
right?
anything down here.
You never know.
Still monkeys.
So, for me, I probably should help carrying up for Father Donovan.
Of course, you sneak him up.
You gonna do that?
Yeah.
Navarro reaches down and he's pretty emancipated, very skinny. Lift him up. Throw him on your shoulder. You can carry him up pretty easy up the stairs.
I'll take the head.
Oh, that's right.
I'm just gonna carry it along with.
Okay. And you guys are heading up too? All right, we go back up top. Let's slide that down this way.
You can stay in it for loot.
No, it
So,
won't be sacrilegious this time.
All right. You walk out and you're holding this body in your hands, and you have the head. You walk towards the chapel. Donovan, Father Donovan, sees his son, and he walks over to you all, and he drops down to his knees, and tears start welling and rolling down his face. The streaks you can see separating the dirt that's built up as he hasn't bathed in a long time. As he looks at his son, please give to me my child, and he's shaking his hands. Ismark and Irina stand next to him, and they put their arms on his shoulders as he's on the ground. Place
Right
it.
in his hands.
Okay. He's holding his son's head.
so
You gonna lay the body down too?
yeah, I'm gonna ask Father that where should I rest your son?
We shall bury my son in the graveyard with Corleone's body. We will give him his rights that he is so due. I cannot thank you all more than I can by doing this. And he starts bawling and crying as he's holding his headless son, and he has the head, and he buries his face between his son's chest and his son's head. It's probably a sad sight that you see. The rest of you guys, he looks like a disgusting vampire creature, but to this guy, this is his child that he raised. Both Irina and Ismark, you see they're already lifting up their father. It is time we go and we bury our dead, and we will uphold our part of the bargain. Anybody else going to say or do anything in the church?
Just tell the father that his son is with God now, not to worry.
May he rest in peace.
And the father gets up as he holds his son's body in his head and goes, agreed, the morning Lord has my son. Let us go outside. So everyone starts walking out somberly with the bodies to the cemetery outside.
Let me know once an hour has passed, because bark skin will wear off.
It's not yet. So you're good.
I assume not, just or when it does.
And again, I apologize when there's radiant damage or holy water, they don't get to regenerate vampires. So
Grab some holy water from Father.
Like those flasks.
now, stepping outside, the air is actually damp and it's cold. The afternoon sun still tries to penetrate the cloudy sky, but to no avail. The fog is very thick, much thicker than before. Father Donovich, as he lays his son's body onto the ground, he reaches over and he grabs 3 shovels. He looks at all of you. I need 2 hands to help bury Kloina Ivanovich and my son's body.
I'll help.
Okay,
I
you
will
take-
aid Gaia in accepting these sacrifices.
So you guys grab the shovels and we start digging. As you dig, Irina and Ismark, they're embracing each other. And you actually see sadness on their faces as it's finally going to have closure where they're going to bury their father. Both of you are digging with the priest, and you're doing a very good job as helping this man, the stranger, out. You're going to help him bury his son, who's been tormented and possessed. You're also going to help bury a man who tried to fight for this town, the burgomaster, Quaylen, the father of Irina and her brother, Ismark. The holes have been dug, the bodies have been carefully placed into the graves. Father Donovich stands up. He lowers his hood. I wish to say a prayer. May the morning Lord guide both the souls of the burgomaster and my son to the light. Though their souls may be trapped within the mists of Barovia, may they look at the light with hope that they too will be released from these realms. And may they walk proudly with the other dead as they march every night towards the devil's castle. And the rain begins to fall. I also ask you, Morning Lord, to guide my new friends on their quests to return home. And may the devil's eyes not fall upon them. As he speaks and he quiets, ravens all around the town start talking and yelling and making lots and lots of noise. Make a perception roll, Welby. You guys all begin to hear the sounds
19.
Of wolves. You see shadows moving about. You, Welby, see numerous wolves outside the town walking very cautiously and quietly down the streets. Others running to and fro between the tombstones. And you see all this. You guys hear the wolves, but you don't see it, but you see Welby looking all sort of freaked out. At this point, now the wolves all start making their presence. First there's 2 to 3, now there's a pack of over 15 of these large wolves looking hungry, surrounding the graveyard you guys are at. Stand your figures up. We would do it over there, but that's over there. Take Irina, the father, put the mother in the middle of you guys. Yep. Sorry. And not only are you guys surrounded by these wolves, but something stirs above you. You start hearing the chirps of bats in the sky. As you look up, hundreds and hundreds of bats begin to swirl in a tempest above you, above the graveyard. You've never seen bats this size, and they're massively large. And they spin around, and the wolves continue to growl. They don't approach, but they completely surround each of you. The nerves are there. Are you guys going to say or do anything at this juncture?
We're all the way surrounded, you said?
By the wolves in the graveyard, and above are hundreds of bats flying way up. They're about 30, 40 feet in the sky.
And we're
In the graveyard.
we're in the graveyard.
Right, you're in the graveyard.
Just checking what outside is.
In the graveyard, as you can see with the model, it looks like there's gates around it, there's a wall, and it's on the side of the church.
I'm gonna cast Speak with Animal, and I'm gonna say, what's the meaning of this?
Make that roll? Is there a roll for that?
No, I just Speak with Animal.
Okay.
Then I can understand animals for the next 10 minutes.
The bats in this realm, for some reason, they're not talking to you. Suddenly, down the street, you hear the sounds of a horse and carriage approaching the graveyard. And you see coming up the street, the main hall, is a majestic carriage being pulled by two beautiful black horses. The carriage comes to a stop. There's a hooded coachman on the front. He gets out from the front and walks to the side of the carriage. He reaches up to the carriage door. He opens it up very slowly. He lowers a step stool and steps to the side. Suddenly, a tall, regal man steps out of the carriage. He's deathly handsome, with shoulder-length black hair, pale skin, and sharp facial features. He's dressed in fine Victoria clothing. A red cape lined with black satin and a fur collar adorns his back. His high leather boots make no sound as he quietly steps from the carriage to the earth in front of the graveyard. After he acknowledges his coachman, this strange man slowly turns his attention towards all of you. It's at this moment you suddenly feel the weight of his gaze, and it is truly terrifying. Finally, after what feels like an eternity, he begins to speak in a dignified voice. Irina whispers, "Strahd." The man speaks to you all.
Good evening, Irina. Good morning to you all. For I come to pay my condolences to my beloved for her father's passing.
He goes and steps closer to the main gate of the church. His long black nails gently rubs against the metal frame, and the layer curls underneath on top of his nails.
But alas, I see, Irina, you have guests. Please forgive my rudeness, for it is time for introductions. For I am ancient. For I am the land. For I am Count Strahd von Zarovich. Welcome to Barovia.
He opens up his cape and he bows. And in this moment, this is where we're going to stop. So, I want to thank anyone who was watching or looking back at the video. I also want to thank Walter Ortiz. He helps us out with the Twitch channel. This was session 1 of the Curse of Strahd with this new group, the Guild of Shadows, as they finally come face to face with the antagonist, Strahd von Zarovich. We'll post online when there's a session 2, and you'll see what happens, and we're going to start at this point where they finally are surrounded by wolves. Above their head are lots of bats, but more importantly, they come face to face with the devil himself, Strahd von Zarovich. With that said, we want to thank you all for watching, and hope you all have a safe time at home. And again, support the store, the Strange Realms, Facebook, Twitch, Instagram, and YouTube. So with that said, thank you, be safe, and God bless. Take care. Thank you, Walter.
This is where we stop.